Hi, in this video, I want to give WeWeb a shot. Now, the last time I used it was over 1.5 years ago, and it has changed in that meantime quite a lot. So I want to give it a second shot, and I want to record this. I want to share that with you, and we can figure out if it's, trash or if it is an amazing tool now, because I remember back then it was quite limited, and then I felt like I didn't have all the design controls that I wanted to have access to, and it has been somewhat of a learning curve to adapt from writing custom code to then building visually. But I've been using visual development for now over a year, so with Toddle, so now I want to go back to WeWeb and see if it actually has been a thing that maybe even better. So we'll do this together in this video, and I want to share my honest reaction to you. So for this video, I have something prepared. We want to generate an AI image generator using the new one from OpenAI. So let's set this up right now. Now, first we need to go in Zano and set some of those things up, and I already have a little endpoint here that I just want to delete for now. I've been goofing around because another API that I wanted to use did not work. So let's try it with the OpenAI one. Let's create a custom post request, and let's call this AI. There you go. And now I will add an input in here for prompt, and I'll make it required. There you go. Now what I want to do is I want to take a look at OpenAI's documentation. I'm going to take the image generation documentation, and I will add a function for API request inside of here, inside of Zano, the NoCode backend. I'll paste that inside of here, import it, and then I go to the prompt and I'll link that prompt with my input. So I will remove that prompt, link it with the input, and now we got everything. And n, is that actually a valid parameter? Yeah, it is. No idea what it means, but that seems okay. Okay, now we got to add, we got to remove the expression. Don't do this at home, but I'm just going to create a new API key for WeWeb YouTube, and I'm going to do generate key, and I'll copy the key, and I will put the key inside of here. There you go. And you probably want to do an environment variable, but I'll just put it in here. I'm fine with that. Okay, now let's add a prompt. Let's do cereal bowl. There you go. We're going to generate a cereal bowl. Let's run this and let's try this. Let's see. It probably takes a little bit because it's AI and it's the good one. So I'm afraid that we may run into some. Oh, it's fast. Operation time. Okay, not that fast. Let's give it 30 seconds. I'm afraid where this goes. Let's run this because we do have 30 seconds API timeouts, and if it now goes longer than 30 seconds, it'll be not too fun to manage this, but we'll see. Well, there you go. It did take 12 seconds, and oh, that was actually pretty fast, so that's nice. Let's try opening this URL here. And I got a bowl of cereal. Wow, very nice. You can do like a Cheerios commercial with that. Very nice. Visual revised prompt. Oh, it does even. Ooh, we can do some cool stuff. Let's copy the payload here. Let's create a variable, and I'm going to call this variable response. And I'm going to go to the value, and I'll add the properties here, and I will. Oh, they updated the dot notation one, so I got to go to response properties, and I want to return here the data. So result data. In the data, are there more properties? No, there's one property in the data. Yeah, I want to return that. So now I want to go here to the response of the API, and I will return, I will return the variable. So I'll return response. I will save this, we'll publish this, and now I can run this. And now we got the backend going for this little fun AI image generator, and then we'll do the exciting part, the front end and the UI and all that, and I'm excited to use WeWeb's AI for that. And there you go. This is my response. I'm getting this actually as an array, So what I'm doing is I'm going to go to the response, because I just want it as an object for simplicity, and I'll just add a first filter. So I'm just getting the first element as an object, because it's just a little bit easier to work with that once we then start plugging things into WeWeb. And I'll probably make all the mistakes with variables and all that I can do, because I'm better at the code stuff than at the no-code stuff. But, you know, please don't judge in the comments. It's my first time after a lot of time. And it's basically a completely different tool from the last time I used it. So please excuse me for any interruptions in that. But I'm curious to try it out, because I've seen such positive things about it. So now I got WeWeb here. And I want to say, I want to make a modern, elegant looking image generator that will call this API. Let's take my API. Oh, actually, let's copy the curl command. It will probably be a little bit better for the AI reference. That will call this API. Put my API in here. And inside of here, I'll do example prompt, so the AI knows, okay, this will be my example prompt. And that will call this API to generate an image. And when it receives the response, which is formatted like this, and now I need to provide a sample response so the AI can do its magic, right? So I'll copy my sample response here. I'll put this inside of here, which is formatted like this. I want to show a nice modern pop-up to showcase the generated image plus revised prompt output with the option to copy the prompt and download the image, and to regenerate again, and to regenerate it again in case the user did not like it. I want to make sure that if the user regenerates it again, that the pop-up closes, and there will be a nice loading animation, very modern and clean. And now let's send this. Welcome to your project. Your request is being processed. And now it's loading. I'm excited. Never built a Vue.js application. Let's take a look at this. I'll create a modern, elegant AI image generator with a sleek interface, smooth interactions. Let's first create variables. So now it actually generates the variables. Here you can see how it generates the variables. Now it's generating the elements. So you can see how it generates the elements. Very cool. And you see how it generates the div block. And that looks really nice, right? And now you can see how it just does the magic. I can lean back. I don't have to code anymore. I like that. And now it generates all the elements. And you can also see which elements it generates here. That's very cool. That's very neat. I remember why I left WeWeb initially was because I felt like it was powerful for workflows, but I just couldn't get a nice UI in it. And now with that AI, I think that's of the past. So I like that. And now, there you go. As a next step, I have created a following task to set up the logic. You can review them before executing. So now we have the task manager. We got generate image. I can, oh, how can I, let's see. I've never used this again in case you don't know. There you go, generate element workflow, create element workflow. Oh, how can I preview them? Oh, specifics. When the form is submitted, set loaders, close dialog, make API call. Yeah, let's execute them. Oh, no way, now it builds the whole API. It doesn't do it yet. Let's see. Oh, it does build it here. Oh, it even does documentation. No way. Oh, that's amazing. Holy. That's neat. Okay. Okay. I can test in a preview? Let's do mirror. No way, it does make an API call. It does. This is like magic. No way. Look at that. This is cool. And I can edit it as well. Let's keep go. Ooh. Ooh. I can't close it yet, so we gotta exit the preview. Oh, this is so nice. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Copy prompt. Let's execute this, and I can lean back. And no way, it writes the documentation. And it uses the Navigator API and just does it all for me. This is magic. No way. It even does a console log for debugging. Like, this is very cool. Let's test this in a preview. And you see it copied the prompt. If I now... Yeah, it just copied the prompt. Let's exit the preview. Let's go to the next one. And now we got to do download image. Let's execute this. And now it builds a workflow for me to do. Oh, wow. Why isn't everybody using this? This is so quick. I like it. No way. Ooh, maybe we're doing too much AI. My camera is starting to get slow. No way. This is cool. I love that it also adds a console log. Oh yeah, maybe we're doing too much AI here. Let's go on here. Oh, yeah, my computer is starting to get slow. It may be Discord. How about I quit Discord? Oh yeah, way better. Okay. Now I just need to make sure that the camera works nicely. Okay, we got some lag to it. Maybe it's because I have YouTube open and ChatGPT, and maybe it's too much AI. Let's close that. Oh, yeah, that's very laggy. Let's close that here. Oh. Let's close. No, don't close WeWeb. Oh no. Okay. Now is a good time to test if the AI actually persists its memory. That would be cool. You know, we gotta test that as well. So we did build a great application. Now, you know, sometimes your project stops, you got bad connection, whatever. Now I'm curious if the AI actually has history. So this will, you know, what it will do in that kind of an instance. So I'll do a little cut, get my computer back up in memory, and then we will see if we can continue with the chat, which is kind of like an important feature, right? Because we're in the middle of building something. So let's test that. So now we're back in the WeWeb editor. It turns out I actually had Zoom open and Arc, and it just was too much for my MacBook Air. And there you go. We got the download image thing, and it actually keeps this task manager up. So it wipes out the chat, and you got chat history, right? Which is super helpful. And then I can probably just regenerate image. I can just click on here, and it will probably continue where it stopped. Let's see. Oh yeah, it does something. Generating workflow. Yes, it does. It does a great job at that. That's amazing. Like, the fact is that it just shows you this visually, how you can see how it does the logic, how it executes the workflows. That's super cool. That's super cool. And it does then do the open dialog, and that seems to be done. So I can actually close the history here. Yeah, there you go. I can test this in a preview. Let's do monkey. Let's generate this. Now, I also got nice logs here on the side, which is actually really helpful. Oh, we got even like a little gradient here. Ooh. I may want to add a loader here while it's generating. But now you see we got the image of a monkey. And now I can regenerate. You see it closes the modal. And now, failed to regenerate image. Ooh. Now we'll be probably trying to debug this, but let's first go here with execute. Close dialog. Let's execute that one. And then we probably, oh, I can even add documentation like an image. Oh, that is nice. That is nice. I like it. Okay, let's test this in a preview. Let's generate this from for a monkey. And we see we got the request here, which is super nice. So we can, we can test that in here. And it's generating. And now we got the monkey. Oh, cute monkey. I can download it. Yeah. I mean, download always has that issue specifically in Chrome browser. But yeah, that is, I could do this myself as well, that same mistake. So that is good. It's not a mistake, it's just browser, right? So let's do iPhone. Let's generate an image. Oh, I probably want to go to the logs. Or where did the logs go? Actions, logs. I like the console anyway. It's nicer. Let's go here. Network tab. Let's take a look at the network tab. Oh, that's very nice. It did do a... Okay. Let's try doing the regenerate. Interesting. So the regenerations failed. So let's try generating this. Let's do one. We can investigate on this one. It says unauthorized. It tries... No way it tries to call OpenAI directly. What's it doing? I wanted to call my API. Incorrect API key provided. This one is correct. We may have to adjust some things, to be fair. Okay, let's try regenerating it. And then it actually does run a successful regeneration. It just calls one error. Because right now this one seems to be pending. Or does it? Let's see, this one calls OpenAI directly, request URL. Interesting. Okay, so the regenerate itself fails. That's probably something we want to go with the WeWeb AI. Let's go to our chat history, word regenerate image. Let's say regenerate fails. It should regenerate the using the same action called when generating the first one. The first one works amazing. And then we got to figure out why it's calling OpenAI and not why it's calling, maybe actually we're using WeWeb's API key in here. That could be. Probably not what the intent of this is, but we'll see. Actually, while the AI is generating, I can take a look at the workflows. Oh, that's not. Maybe that's the AI reserved workflow. Probably want to take a look at the form. And then I probably want to switch to edit. But yeah, updating element workflow. I'll update the regenerated workflow to use the same success API endpoint and structure as the initial generation. Let's execute this. And now we will be able to update the workflow. And now, oh, we're going to get some lag again. Okay, we'll wait a little bit. Okay. The AI is still cooking things up. we definitely hitting some memory ceilings doing screen recording and AI streaming and running the WeWeb editor here. But it seems to be understandable because we're doing lots of computational things here. So I think when it's done with the stream, there you go. Let's try reloading the page. Okay, let's try this. This looks already a little bit better. Let's test this in the preview. Let's do monkey, and let's generate an image of a nice monkey. And let's take a look actually at the network tab. Let's try again on here. Okay, it does call our, okay, now it calls the correct API. This is good. It calls cloud.nocode procode like we have in the initial documentation. Let's try reloading. And now it tries to call OpenAI. Okay, so this is probably where the AI is a little bit dumb. And that is okay, right? There you go. So now is probably the time where we want to edit this manually, you know, because AI is a really good starting point, but having control ultimately over what you're doing is probably the ultimate thing that you want to do. And that's kind of like the whole selling point. So let's take a look at that workflow here for generate image. And that workflow seems to be working great. So let's copy the workflow, right? And then, or actually we can just copy the API because I'm lazy. Let's go to generate API, store generated image. I think we only need this one. So let's copy this action here. Let's close this. And let's go back to the preview. And let's generate something. So we open the pop-up. I also want to add a loader, but I think I can do this myself. But we'll try this. But this is very cool. I'm very positively surprised by the new WeWeb. Very cool. Okay, so now we got to go to regenerate. Oh, it's starting to get buggy here. Let's go on the regenerate image one. Oh, let's go on regenerate image. Okay, so this API fails. Let's take a look at this API. And it does try to call OpenAI. That's fun. The body is doing all kinds of weird stuff. And oh shit, this is my Chrome extension I built for WeWeb. I built a Chrome extension for WeWeb. Okay, so the editor is getting very slow, but I think I can make it through this. Let's click on plus and paste my action. There you go. Let's close this. Let's delete this action. And let's take a look, store generated image. The value in here, we will take workflow result data. Okay, we probably want to adjust that a little bit with the workflow ID, because I don't know, execute context workflow. I don't know if the ID is correct. We probably need to go to the developer mode of WeWeb to get that ID, but I probably want to stop recording for a little bit because with all the AI, the editors. Okay, so now let's take a look. Let's go to the result dialog here, right? And we got some of the elements in here. And I want to take a look at, we got the close button, we got the image container, right? We got the prompt, we got the dialog actions. I want to go to the regenerate button here. And oh, my editor, it's getting slow. MacBook Air and WeWeb doesn't seem to be that good of a combination, especially when you're doing screen sharing. But let's see what I can do for you here. It's getting very slow, so it seems like we're doing very high memory intensive stuff, which is not that cool. But it seems like I also need the ID. So if I take a look at the store generated image here, and I do partial update, we're updating a variable and we get the value, right? I'm curious, can't we just try running this here? And let's see why the API fails, because probably we need to set the variable first, right? With the regenerate, we need to have a prompt in here. So let's do phone. Let's generate the image. And now if we take a look at the console, yeah, it's like this is getting very slow here. Okay, we can now close this. I got nothing open. I only got WeWeb open, so they gotta improve those memory things a little bit. But let's go on the preview. But besides that, it's been a great experience. Let's go on that button. Let's go to regenerate image. Let's try running the regenerate image. They'll probably succeed because it takes longer. And then we can just probably define this without using JavaScript. But if not, we can use WeWeb AI to do that for us. Let's see, it'll take a little bit. So besides of the performance of the editor, I'm pretty satisfied with this. So store generated image. Okay, let's take a look. What are we currently doing in here? Okay, edit code. We're taking workflow ID, result data. We're getting the revised prompt, and we're getting it from the context workflow. So I'm not speaking too much WeWeb abstraction of code. So let's edit this with WeWeb AI. Let's say, let's click on this one here because I think I can just click on those. Yeah, to add them in here. Regenerate button workflow. I need to have the generate API image and generate image API call response updated with the store generated image variable as the ID changed. Let's send this and let's see. Let's hope the AI can help us with that because I'm a little bit stuck here now. Let's try that. Okay, I've successfully created a workflow that properly, okay, change variable, set loading state, generate API call, store generated image, okay, open dialog. It will do it. It probably runs chronologically. Interesting. Let's test this whole thing. It fails in here. Let's take a look at this. No, it doesn't fail, or does it? Let's see. This is weird. Let's go back to the preview. Let's try generating this. Okay. And now we will generate this, and I want to take a look at the generate button. Very interesting. Okay. Let's take a look. Oh yeah, now we got it here. Okay. And yeah, it's like their editor is terrible. It makes my computer very slow. So that is not that good. But let's go in here on the preview screen. Let's go on regenerate. Let's take a look at the action. Oh, I can barely navigate. Yeah, let's go here to edit. Let's go to the generate image workflow and let's go inside of here and let's see why this is failing. Let's see, what is this API saying? Payload, response, missing parameter, the prompt is missing. So we need to go to the body and form data. Let's edit this with WeWeb AI. Let's go inside of here. Yeah, and we say, I need the original prompt input in here. The API needs this body request. Let's go. Let's write this JSON ourselves. Let's go in here. Let's go. Okay. Prompt. Example prompt. Okay, let's send that. And let's see what it does. The nice thing is I can have the AI generate this application, this view application. I get a visual interface to interact with what's actually going on. I really like that. I think that's actually the future of code. And it actually, you see how it just does changes here? This is very cool. Create object prompt, it'll load the data, dot prompt. So we can now close this here. And we can try this again. And it loads longer. So that seems to be a good sign. And let's try this. And now we can, I like that we can visually debug the AI generated code. So if I were ever starting to become a vibe coder, I wouldn't choose anything besides WeWeb for this, because it seems to be the way to do vibe coding, to do AI enhanced programming. Let's take a look. We probably got an image back. Yeah, we got an image back. That's great. Okay, let's test the whole workflow, because I can also test what's going on here. We can just keep a look at the console and see this payload resolve itself, right? And I also got the debug here. Yeah, and it works amazing. And we got the image. You see it right here. Yeah, that's great. We can close this now. I can close the console. And now I can go on the preview. And I can close this. And let's generate a photo of WeWeb AI. I'm interested to see what this is now coming up with. And it's loading. I would love to have a loader to this, but I'll probably be able to do this myself. But we'll see. It's generating it now. And now, there you go. I got WeWeb AI. And let's try regenerating this. Okay, it closes the pop-up. And as you can see, it does do another API call. So we should be expecting in a few seconds the new image. Let's hope it works. Yes! I mean, it didn't update the variable. It's still the same, right? Let's try this again. Let's also take a look at the network tab here for this. So we'll be able to verify if, you know, the image being shown actually matches the image. Yeah, so the image we're generating here, unless the AI is always generating the same image, which it could be, now that we, okay, it does regenerate the image, but let's do monkey. It's very unlikely that we'll have 2 times the same monkey generated by AI. So we'll just use the console here as a little, the network tab, the dev tools, as a little debugger, if you will. Okay, and we're now getting this cute monkey. And let's try regenerating this. And we see it invokes a new API call to our Zano backend. What I don't like about the editor is that if I do a screen recording, yeah, you see the API? It seems like, let's see, what is the API responding with? A close-up of a cheerful monkey? Let's try opening this URL coming back from the API, and then we'll see if that actually changed the underlying data structure. Let's copy that. Let's paste this inside of here. And you see this is a new monkey. So let's ask their AI. What's very annoying is I can't screen record and use WeWeb at the same time. That is not nice, but let's try this out. So let's go inside of here and let's ask it, this new workflow works great, but the issue is that when the regenerated modal opens, it still shows the old first generated image, not the new regenerated one. If I check the logs, there is a new image URL, but it does not get set in the modal. And let's send this and have the AI resolve that problem. And it's very nice to get some visual representation. And you can now apparently do vibe coding in WeWeb, which they got a visual editor, and they're now adding AI support. They may want to consider doing a desktop application for performance reasons, but yeah, this sounds cool. Regenerate button. So there's now a task manager pop-up. So let's take a look at this. Update element workflow. Let's execute that, and we'll just let it do its tasks, whatever it needs to do. It's very cool. It's just sad that I can't record and use it at the same time because the performance is very glitchy. You can probably see this already on my camera. But besides that, it is a very nice tool. I like the documentation features it has. I like the light mode actually that it has. I'm a light mode fan. So that is all good. Let's scroll down. There's nothing else in our task manager. So let's do preview and test in preview. Let's click on regenerate. And we'll wait. And we will wait till it generates. It can take a little bit. Oh, it somewhere says failed to regenerate image, so I'm afraid. Let's check the console. Let's try generating the initial image. That loads the API request, so we can verify that here. We can also verify it in the logs, but I like the browser logs, so we can test that. And yeah, I got that here, got the image. Let's click on regenerate. And it tries to call some random API all of a sudden. So this seems to be the flaw with AI. But thank God we got one API call working. So I think the only thing we need to do is to get some human magic in here. Let's go back to the generate image here. I just need to copy the API URL and switch it out manually because the AI does not understand that I want to call my API and not some random made up API. But that is just every AI, right? They just like to hallucinate. So let's go into the edit mode here, right? And let's go on the generate button. And let's go to the generate. Of course that API fails because it's calling an API that does not exist. Let's put our API URL inside of here. Okay, let's double check the formula. Okay, that looks good. Yeah, we're sending valid JSON. Or are we? I mean, it closes it kind of weird, but okay. Let's try going into the preview and let's try regenerating. And you see the API itself is calling, so we'll probably come back as a success. Let's go take a look at the network tab here. We'll generate a little, we'll wait. There hasn't been an error yet. And it will update the image! It works! I don't fully trust it yet, so let's try it again. Let's go and regenerate. Okay, now it generates it. I'm actually afraid because my browser's getting so slow with using the AI. They gotta do a desktop application so it has more horsepower behind it. But yeah, it's a new image. It does work. There you go. I'm like losing memory here, but yeah, besides the editor being slow, it does work. It does do what it promises. You can build those things very simple with AI and you don't really have to touch that much. And if you need to touch things up, because AI always loves to hallucinate, I think that won't change in the next few years, you can always just go in there and switch and edit it. So overall, I'm very positively surprised by WeWeb AI. I think it's a great way if you need to spin up a web application fast. It seems like the way to do it, because you got this AI assisted coding and all those kinds of stuff. And then I think if they kind of like integrate with MCP so you can get some context to things, they'll make it very interesting. So you'll definitely see more videos about WeWeb and WeWeb AI on this YouTube channel, because I do think it's a very cool way to spin up an application very quick. And it does seem to do exactly what it promises. So yeah, I'm positively surprised by it. We'll see if they improve the memory issues of the editor, because I'm like just like 1 frame per second here. But yeah, that is my overview of WeWeb AI. It's very exciting. We'll live in exciting times. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next one.